Carole Robinson. Welcome to this edition of County Happenings, where we find out what's happening in the county by the expert in the county, Rogers Anderson, our county mayor.
I don't know that I'm an expert, but thank
well,
you
you're
for
everywhere.
I am around the county.
Yes.
Around the county. How are you doing?
I'm doing fabulous. Fabulous. Got my 2 baby grandsons living with us for a couple of weeks, and the house is a-hopping and turned upside down, but I love it.
Well, this show will actually air when my son and his twin girls are coming to town along with the rest of my clan, so I'll have all 7 grandkids under 5 trying to figure out who can outdo the other one.
Yeah, and where their space is on Peepaw's lap.
I am just tickled to death to have them, but I bet you I'll be just as tickled to death to see them leave the room.
Exactly.
There's nothing finer than grandchildren.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. Sounds like family picture time too.
Yeah. It's kind of like the budget.
Yeah.
You know, you're glad that it's over, and immediately it's over, you start on the next
2 weeks later, you got to start on the next one. So we've got a nice budget, $434 million.
It's a budget that was approved, 24-0, no tax increase. Moved, I put 3 shells and moved a whole bunch of money around on the shells. Our process does take literally about 5 or 6 months, and where you meet with department heads, elected officials, appointed officials. You go through the process, very similar you do in your house. You know,
and each individual department has to go through it, and then the whole county has to go through it.
And we go through several phases of it through different scenarios. But at the end of the day, you're never going to make everyone totally happy, and you're not going to be able to satisfy all of the needs. But you do it based on, needs. There's always room for adjustments throughout the year, but it's always gratifying not to have to raise taxes, and this year we were able to do that. I guess the last time we really adjusted the tax rate was 3 years ago, when we had a reappraisal.
Right.
And that's not as impactful to people, but it is an adjustment on the tax rate. I'm not trying to downplay that. It looks like this coming year we will be able to see the start of a new high school.
And that'll be in Nolensville?
Nolensville community. The land has been purchased, I understand, and so they're trying to go through the architects and looking at what size school. Do you incorporate a middle school on the same side? Do you do another elementary and do another middle? A lot of different.
Yeah, how's that area growing? Does it need another elementary?
Well,
and if you
no
do,
question it's growing.
Yeah, so
this
that
morning,
Sunset is working out pretty good.
Sunset it's a K-8. We have another Nolensville. The old Nolensville Elementary now is being converted into one of our Parks and Rec facility, and working with Nolensville to do that. They're paying half, we're paying half, rather than the city doing it all or the county doing it all. We'll each put in our money and have a facility over there that satisfies the needs of the community in that area.
Yeah, because those people over there are similar to the people in Fairview. They're just too far away from anything in Franklin Brentwood to be able to use.
We're, as you know, we asked for money, we received money to do an architect's rendering for a new senior citizens area we call it Academy Park now, which is the old BGA. And we'd like to go through that for about a year, develop plans, look at doing a community theater at the same location.
So it's like a community center as well as a senior center?
Yes, it is, and it's next to our library, so that we feel like that whole synergy. Now, we are not going to disturb the front side of that campus, the beautiful trees.
Right.
It'll be all done behind those trees. We may have to, because of transportation, figure out how we can get in, but I'm almost threatened within an inch of someone's neck. Those trees don't come down.
Right, and they don't get disturbed.
So that center would satisfy.
And would this be a new building or using one of the existing buildings?
It's a combination of both. A lot of people that are familiar with the old BGA campus would remember the second oldest gym in the state, and it was converted to a library. We're going to take that. We think we can redevelop it, add maybe a about 1,000 square feet to the side and back for an entrance area for our community theater. Then you would have a detached senior citizens that would satisfy the needs of our community as at large. You know, all of our communities, College Grove and Bethesda and Hillsborough, they each have their own senior citizens, and we need to address some of those needs. But here in Franklin, which services all of Franklin and the Grassland area, and really trickles down into the Thompson Station, although we don't think of seniors actually being in Thompson Station and Spring Hill, but they are.
They're there, yeah.
And in today's paper, actually, one of our communities in a magazine is going to be highlighted and acknowledged that it is one of the top 10 senior communities, and that's West Haven, for seniors to move into. And this is a national magazine. So we're seeing a lot of numbers about our population now is 192,000 people.
Wow.
It's grown about 9,000 since the last census in 2010. So in 3 short years, we've added 3,000 people a year. Our population, our largest population in Williamson County, is that age group under 19 years of age. It's about 23% of our population. Thus, why we build schools.
And I'm seeing that it's also why we have the senior population, because grandparents are following the grandkids.
Which is different than your generation and my generation, because we're about 50 years apart in age. You know, I'm giving you
I thank you very much.
But when you think about our population age 65 and older is about 6 to 8%, and that number's climbing because grandparents want to be around their children and their grandchildren. Plus,
and I've talked to so many grandparents who have moved closer because both the children, the husband and wife, need to work, and they don't want the grandkids in daycare, so they're moving because they're flexible to take care of the grandkids.
Well, and I think there's opportunities here too, Carol, for our senior population, our mature. I'm in that, and so I can tell you there's opportunities here for good, clean, wholesome life that's safe.
Right.
We have some of the best police protection in our cities, and thus we also have some of the best law enforcement in our unincorporated areas through the Sheriff's Department.
And our communities are so unique in that you know, from any place else outside of Williamson County.
And so, you know, the traffic is a mess, let's just face it, and it will be that way for some time, but efforts are being made to improve those arteries so people can get around it. Businesses continue to look at our area. I've never backed down that I'm very pro-business, because businesses brings jobs and brings income and brings tax base in which we can lessen the burden on our individual property value. Plus our property values increase. Now, I understand everybody would like to shut the gate and say no more people in, but in theory it just doesn't work that way. But there's lots of comments out there about
well, we still have plenty of green space in this county.
Oh,
because of the planning.
But absolutely, and you've been involved in that for many years. When you get outside, and I think we've said it on this show before, when you get outside the municipalities, the 6 cities that we have, our unincorporated area it really is not growing. It's pretty stagnant. And the people that are moving there are buying existing homes. Now we're having new building permits. Month of June, on a countywide basis, the numbers came in that we are looking at just the unincorporated area. We had the largest month in June that we've had since 2006. Today's paper indicated the Greater Nashville Home Builder Association said June 2013 was the single largest month for home sales, and that included new and used or existing home sales. So we're right in line, and I think it's a combination of a lot of things. Interest rates are slowly climbing, but they're still affordable. Now, if you raise the interest rate on a home 1%, that's 10% more down payment, 10% more on your mortgage. So a lot of people are probably rushing to try to beat that.
Especially because they keep hinting that they're going to go up.
The other side of that coin is most people that are moving here, once they have a job, then they focus on where do we want to raise our family, either because of schools or if our seniors, where can we be closer to our children, grandchildren. And a lot of people are moving here that do not have children. They just like the quality of life and the things to do. You don't have to drive very far to participate in sports, professional sports in Nashville.
Right.
There's plenty of activities going around. In fact, I submitted over to Doug Hood the other day, our Parks and Rec director, that I said I'd seen an article about playgrounds and active participation, and my comment was we need to have an active, senior, mature playground.
With bigger swings.
Bigger swings and those things, whatever
ellipticals,
ellipticals that you want, and they make those. They
For
have
outside?
Yes.
Oh my gosh!
And there are communities that have Florida. They have a higher participation of seniors, because that's the number one state for seniors would be Florida. And in their activities around their senior citizens area are these types of stations that would be more catered to the things. I'm not too interested in some of these activities that the children, I want to be able, my grandchildren, to climb on the monkey bars and the different things, but I'm not going to get on them. And I might get on some of these other activities on an outside basis, and they do make them. So it is an exciting time in Williamson County to see the growth. The schools continue to flourish is where this conversation started. We're expecting 850 to 1,000 more children next year. Apartments are being built all over our cities, which means people can move in here
and then look for a home.
and look for a home at a later date. It's an exciting time.
Yeah. Now, speaking of exciting and things to do, we've got a big event coming up in just a few more weeks. We're on the countdown now.
We are, and you're talking about the Williamson County Fair on August the 2nd, it's a Friday. This year's theme, great. It would be great for you to wear that shirt.
Rock around the fair.
Rock around the fair. For those ladies that still have poodle skirts or would like to make one, just put it on and come on. We're having a sock hop by Loy Hardcastle on Saturday night. And of course, he'll be playing the 60s and 70s music, and probably my children and my grandchildren, they'll not be there.
They'll probably have hula hoops.
But they'll probably have hula hoops. I heard a conversation the other day. What did men wear? What did boys wear in the 60s and 70s? We know what girls did. They had saddle Oxfords and white socks.
White T-shirts with the cups the sleeves rolled up and their cigarettes tucked into them.
Cigarettes were very
and
popular.
black jeans.
And black jeans.
And black boots.
And oftentimes, but one brought to my attention, and you may have forgotten it, and I had forgotten it, but I had them. There was a time in our society when a young man, when he went courting, when he went out on a date, that he had matching socks with the color of his shirt. He might have had a yellow shirt on and yellow socks. And white socks were the nerve.
I don't remember those.
But young boys wore colored socks that matched their and oftentimes had their leather sweater, and oftentimes his girlfriend or his at that time wore his ring. She may have worn it on a chain, or she may have had it taped.
Yeah, a whole bunch of masking tape.
So that particular night, maybe that's how we need to dress and look at it. It's going to be an exciting fair. Lots of new rides, new activities, tremendous success from our sponsorships who. You couldn't have this fair without sponsorships because they pay the bulk of the money to keep the rates low, and then finally you couldn't have it at all without the many volunteers that we have. So,
right. But boy, it's going to be. Now they've got some new outside things going on that are very agricultural oriented, because agriculture is the basis of the fair.
It is that, and education. Our different leaders, our different you can call them directors of the different things from. But Dwayne Perry's kind of oversees that ag side, and then we've got the goats and the pigs and the cattle.
And you've got some new livestock events going on that he's pulled in that used to be at the fair, the state fair, and now they're the big event for those particular.
Well, beef cattle is still very large in Williamson County. Now we all know we have lots of horses, and we don't have horsing events at the fair because
you just don't have the arena.
Don't have that kind of room space. But as far as the horse, as far as the cattle, and the beef and the swine and the sheep. Lots of activity, lots of education. And of course, our number one event, this is fair number 9, and our number one event through the first 8 fairs has been Little Ones Farming.
Right, and the barnyard. Little
the
Ones
barn.
Farming, because you can go right from one to the other, and the kids have a ball, and as a Mimi, I have a ball too.
Well, and a lot of people are saying, it's awful hot, can't you have this fair some other time? And the answer is, we have to schedule it around so many other fairs, and this was the availability. Now, the good thing of it is that most of our activities are in the evening. The fair doors open at 6 Monday through Thursday, or Monday through Friday, and then on Saturdays they open early, of course, and we're there all day. But
you've got the air-conditioned arena.
Got the air-conditioned arena. You can go inside. Many shows, many events, many activities going on.
There's
in
all
there.
kinds of things going on in that arena, on the arena floor, and then all kinds of vendors and demonstrations and stuff up top. It's and then you got the room where the quilts and the
And that's been
culinary
expanded
stuff.
this year.
Yeah.
The ladies that are overseeing that, there's just so many. If you haven't been to the fair,
Why not?
well, that's true, but you know, it's $6 for adults. If you're 5 and 6 under, you're free. But if you pay the full admission price, you're just not paying attention. There are so many ways.
There's so many ways to get in.
Free
or
or reduced.
reduced, yes.
and now Saturday nights, Friday and Saturday nights, that's when the young people bring their dates and they do the riding and no.
And there's a new roller coaster.
There is a roller coaster. It's not one of the high fancy
No,
ones, but it's a short
It's
one.
one that mom and dad can go on with the kids.
Absolutely. I'm not going to get on those big ones. And just yesterday, if you didn't know, Elvis, that has been there 3 or 4 times over the last 9 years, this is a gentleman that won the Elvis.
Ultimate Elvis.
Ultimate Elvis. And this isn't just in our fair that he won. He won it throughout the nation.
Yeah. He won it first at our fair, though.
Yes, so.
And then went on to win it in Memphis.
He's been in Memphis. He's been in Australia. This year they're bringing in I think he is 12-year-old.
The youngest Ultimate Elvis?
He's the youngest. And so if you're an Elvis fan, and then yesterday, just ironically, someone dropped off Elvis Presley's album, the original album that had the movie that he did about the fair.
Oh my gosh.
So we're going to take this album and we're going to auction it off. And on one of the songs is Elvis singing about the fair. It's the close of the fair. So we've asked our Elvis, Sean Cluss, to come and sing that as the closing song of our fair. And he had never sung it. And so he's getting...
Wow. And he's on the final night.
And he's on the final line. So Elvis Presley is on this album, and they're learning to sing that song. It's kind of sad, you know, there's no more rides. The lights are being turned off and all that, but it's Elvis's way of saying the fair's shutting down. We'll see you next year.
Yeah. Oh wow, how exciting! And Saturday night traditionally has been either a really big night on the midway, but not so big in the rest of the fair. What a great way to bring people in.
Well, and I know a lot of people that watch this show or watch saying, well, it's so hot and you know it's hard to get there. There's ways to get.
Yeah, not so much anymore.
Not so much. We're making all kinds of effort. If you can get to the fairgrounds, someone in a golf cart will pick you up from your car and bring you almost to the front.
They are buzzing all over the place.
And
even up if you're way up on the hill, don't worry about it because somebody will come by.
That's right. And it's one of the things we're unique in all the other fairs. Wilson County Fair, Hale Moss is the director of that, is a fine friend and has done a masterful job over the last 50 years. They're the granddaddy. They're the number one fair in the state. We are not trying to take away from them, but we're trying to carve out.
We're doing it Williamson County's way.
That's right. And we're glad to do it.
Yeah.
So come on out, August the 2nd to the 9th.
I'll be there almost every day.
I know you will. And your husband will be there a lot. He's walking around enjoying the cotton candy and all the dietetic food.
Yeah, exactly. All the delicious. Have you heard of anything new? I mean, we've got the fried Twinkies and the fried Oreos and the.
I'm sure somebody out there that I haven't paid any attention to will be bringing something. I know there's ice cream and there's, the traditional things. But I'm sure there'll be somebody. I know Puckett's is expanding their operation out there, our local vendor to be able to be there, and it's also a great time for
And
businesses. They pick a day. The realtors have picked a night. One of the things I do want to highlight, if you say, well, I can't afford to come and I'm not going to ride the rides, what's there for me to do? Then I would say, come on Monday night, the first Monday night of the fair. I'm not for sure what night that'd be, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 6th, I believe, 2, 3, 4, the 5th. The 5th of August is Grace Works. We're calling it Pay Forward. What simply means you bring in 2 cans of goods, put them in the barrel, you come into the gate free.
Wow.
All the food's raised. We're taking this fair serious. Last year we did scholarships for 6 young people that work at the fair.
Yeah, and you
to
only
help them.
expected to do 1 or 2.
That's right. And this year we're trying to help another worthy cause in our community. As you know, Centennial does our parking. We write them a very substantial check for helping. Ravenwood's involved. Many of our schools participate in helping to raise money for their schools and their worthwhile programs. This year we're expanding that to help Grace Works Pantry by bringing food in, canned goods only, or plastic.
Yeah, GraceWorks is such an unbelievably wonderful, non-private, non-government organization that is unique to Williamson County again. It's not any national organization.
No, it's not.
The churches started it years ago, and it's a faith-based organization, but they do reach out even if you don't have faith.
Tina Edwards, their executive director, was over a couple of weeks ago, and we sat down with Diane and Terry, and we outlined, that we want to give back, and they've stepped up to the plate. Of course, it helps them. They'll have the big barrels there. They'll take care of it. The truck will be there. So on that first Monday night, bring in 2 cans, come in, see, walk. Doesn't cost you a thing. That's one way to get in. The last Saturday also is our veterans. If you were in the military, you don't have to bring your DD 214. All you need to do is come in and say, I was a veteran, and we've got some special activities for that that we're doing. And I think it's our 4th year in a row, for our special needs children and adults, we'll have a special show on that Thursday. The fairgrounds is not open, but we're making available for community organizations during the day. And we've asked some of our vendors and some of our people that are performing out at the fair to make a special attempt for our special needs communities here. And as a special this year, we've invited and we've had acknowledgement that the Veterans Home over in Murfreesboro will be bringing a bus of veterans.
Wow.
So they can come and see this special show, because it's very difficult for them during the day, and we'll keep all those activities inside of Williamson Air Conditioning for the most part.
And then they won't have to fight the crowds that they would normally fight.
So we're excited about that.
Wow,
We've got
what a
some.
great idea.
We've got some on the Veterans Day itself. The men, the women will be coming down from the 101st. We're making tickets available for those families that have maybe their husband or wife is still over in Afghanistan, or maybe they're back on post, and so someone, I think it's Carpenter Bus Services, providing transportation down here for them. We will get them in and have some special events for them, and recognitions for our military, and say thank you for a job well done.
Well, sounds like it's a job well done with the fair, with y'all organizing it and getting it all together. It's a lot of hoops to get together, and a lot of.
It's a full year planning for us, a 9-day fair. I just could not imagine 9 or 10 years ago when we were planning this out that it ever turned out like this.
What's amazing to me is it's a 9-day fair, as organized as it is, and only 2 paid employees.
Yeah.
One's
on commission.
One's on commission. So if he doesn't pony up, he doesn't get paid.
As the guy used to say when I was in sales, whatever he kills, he gets to eat.
Yeah, exactly.
and that's pretty harsh language, but that's the way sales works.
Exactly.
But Terry is our only paid, and she works year round, and she's contracted labor.
Yeah.
And she really could make a lot more money, but she loves it. She loves the fair and does a wonderful job.
Yeah, so all this comes together very efficiently because you've got so many volunteers and great volunteers. But some of these people have been working on this fair for the last 9 years, and that's incredible that they haven't gotten burned out yet.
And you know, we need more volunteers. We need
Yeah,
people. So if
always.
you go to our website,
Yeah.
the
There's
Williamson-
opportunities to volunteer all over the fairgrounds, between the ambassadors and whatever. There's opportunities.
Plenty of ways to give back to the community. And of course, there's no greater joy, as you know, when you see the smile of the face, not only on children but adults and teenagers. That this may be this may be their year to really branch out and try riding the new ride,
or it's just fun to watch parents actually interacting with the kids and laughing and having a good time, and watch them all giggling as they're trying to down that big ear of corn or that big drumstick, or a little kid's head face smashed into that cotton candy.
Well, and we need to point out we couldn't do it again with our law enforcement, emergency management. It's a clean, safe fair. We've taken great steps to protect people while they're there.
Yeah.
Our Williamson Medical Center is there in the event that there is an accident. So it's just a wonderful time for you to come out. You can come out very reasonable, and adults, as Jimmy Drew, the Midway director, says, it's one of the last few things in America that's still kid-friendly. We have no alcohol on those premises. We do not sell it. And if we find someone drinking, we escort them. After they pay to get in, we escort them to leave. And
no refunds.
And no refunds. So we try to make it a good, clean, safe fair.
It's all American.
It is that. All Williamson County.
Yes, it sure is. It's
lots
fun.
of other activities going on in the county. I know we're running out of time, but
schools open during the fair week on
sure do. The Thursday on the 7th, I think. We will have SROs in all. I was talking to the sheriff earlier. We will have SROs in every single school in Williamson County,
including FSSD,
including the Franklin Special School District, to give those parents that peace of mind that they have that they've asked us for. Not everybody agreed with it, but it is something. Well, unfortunately, we have to do in this day and time.
Unfortunately, in this day and time, you have to provide a safe environment, a safe learning environment for the kids and for the teachers that are working there.
Lots of opportunities this coming year.
Yep.
Look forward to working with you.
Yeah, you too.
And it'll be election time here before you know it. Everybody will be running again and give you plenty of opportunity for job security over the next 12 years.
But remember, this is Tennessee, the volunteer state. Volunteer for the fair or anything else you can volunteer for.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you. See you next time.
Hi, I'm Sophia, and this is my book, Black Beauty. I chose this book because I really like the illustrations, and my favorite part is when Black Beauty finds a new owner and he gets hurt, but the owner takes good care of him. And you could find this book at school or at a store.
Hooray!